Howdy, 8th grade. Today we are going to be looking at misleading data, which is one of my very favorite things. I love getting to play with data. And today we are going to learn a little bit about my favorite saying, which is that calculations don't lie, but liars can calculate. So we're going to learn a little bit about how to make a graph look differently than it should. So this is also how to make yourself look good with numbers. Yourself look good with numbers. And I've got a few different techniques for this, and I want you all to be aware of them. So we're going to start off with line and bar graphs, because those kind of work the same. So for line and bar graphs. The best thing you can do with line and bar graphs, there's two different techniques. I want to tell you all a little bit about those. Two techniques to make them misleading, to take your data and make them say something it doesn't. The first one is to start. Well, let me actually indent that. So we're going to start our axis at a number that's not 0. And what that does is this will make changes in our data look bigger. So if you want to say that, hey look, this thing has changed a lot recently, if you're trying to show that something's changed, you want to start your axis at a number that's not 0. Also, if someone else does it, you should probably be a little bit wary about any changes you see. Because if I have a graph that's got huge changes here, but then I see that this goes from like 600 to 650, and let's just say this goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In reality, that wouldn't be too big of a change, because we're already at 600, so going up to 650 isn't that big a deal, but it makes it look big. So it would really look more like if I started at 0, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. What this would be more like that, which doesn't really look like quite so much growth. So let me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's my first technique. It also works for bar graphs. You can just change what the start is. My second technique is going to be, instead of starting an axis that's not 0, you can make your axis huge. And I'll show you what that is. The example I have sitting in front of me is a bar graph of music people like to listen to. So over on the bottom here, I'll say like rock, that's mine, hip hop. Let's do pop music just for fun. And then over on this side, I'll start at 0, do 500, 1000, 1500. And I'm going to draw all of these in. And if you look at this, it looks like there's not much change, when really there would be quite a bit of change here if you just made the axes a little bit better. So if I only made this go up to, say, 700 and down to 0, I might be able to actually see which ones are preferred. So I'd see that rock is maybe right about up to 500, and hip hop is up to like 7, and pop is down at like 4. And just by changing the axes a little bit, you can actually see the difference. Or if you don't want people to be able to see the difference between things, you can just hang out with the axis there, and we'll be good to go. The last one that I want to show you is for pie charts, or circle graphs as some people call them, but I've always heard them as pie charts. And pie charts are pretty easy to manipulate. You just make the numbers not add up to 100. So if I was talking about the number of guys and girls in our class, I could make a very misleading pie chart. And let's say I did it like this, where I said guys, well, the Y should be before the S, guys and girls, and by guys I just wrote 8. All of a sudden it looks like there's like 8% guys or something, when really there's 8 guys and 16 girls. Really, I should, if I wanted to be really honest about this, most times you use pie charts for percentages, so I would write guys 33%, girls 67%. And that would be a lot easier. So that's some ways that you can make graphs say things that they don't actually say. Please do the lesson practice. There's like 6 questions that are not too hard. I think one of them is remaking a graph, so that might take a little bit longer, but still won't be too bad. And please make sure you have those for tomorrow. It would make me very happy. That's me when you do your homework. And I will see you all tomorrow. Toodaloo.